Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Plain Strange and Comic Books channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review The Closet #1. But before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, commenting, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, we got the cover here for The Closet #1. It is an Image comic, and it is by Tinian, Fullerton, O'Halloran, and Napolitano. And we start off with this guy named Tom who's at a bar, and he's talking to the bartender about moving to a new place. We find out that Tom is at this bar because he's supposed to be going to get packing tape, and he decided to stop here because him and his wife, Maggie, are on some shaky ground. They've been fighting recently. And also he brings up that his son Jamie has been having nightmares really bad, and he doesn't know what to do about that, but he's hoping that the nightmares will stop with the move. Then we cut to back at Tom's house, where we see his son Jamie is definitely terrified of this closet, but while he's staring in fear of this closet, he's hearing his mom and dad argue. Obviously it took Tom a long time to get tape because he stopped at a bar, and his wife Maggie was not very appreciative of that. And while they're fighting, Jamie comes out and tells Tom that he's scared. So Tom takes his son back in the room and tries to show him that there's nothing in the closet by turning on the light and leaving the door open. And Tom also tries to explain that, they're moving, so don't worry about this closet anymore, because even if there is nightmares inside of it, we're leaving, so you only have to sleep here one more night. So Tom and Maggie continue to fight, and Jamie is watching the closet very intently. He does not want to go to sleep. And as he's watching it, we see the light go from bright to dim. And as Jamie's about to fall asleep, he sees a figure appear in the closet. And that's where I'm going to stop it. I don't want to spoil anything else. So I haven't read too much from James Tynion. I know he was writing Batman for a while, and he's getting off that now. But his indie books tend to lean towards horror. So I figured I'd check this one out just to see how it is. So this one's just a little too slow for me. Most of the comic is just that dad talking to the bartender. Tinian's just mostly creating an atmosphere. I mean, you can tell very much that the dad is not very happy with his life, and he's hoping that this move will kind of fix everything and they'll leave their arguments and anything wrong with their marriage behind. I thought the story kind of felt a little too on the nose, and I may be wrong because this is just the first issue, but it felt like this is a comic, so there's probably an actual monster in his closet, but you could also get from it that the monster is the fighting between the parents and the son having to hear that. But maybe I'm totally off base because this is just the first issue and it's just a setup. But that's how it felt, at least. The art in this book was okay. For the first half of the book, the dad's in the bar, so it's just panels of talking back and forth. There's not really much going on. And it's pretty much like that until the monster shows up. The design of the monster is pretty cool looking. Definitely scary. But that was kind of like the highlight of the art in this comic. So I thought this issue was kind of just a lot of setup and, introduction to the characters and whatnot. It definitely felt like, they were going for an atmosphere more than actually showing you anything really horrific on the pages. And I think they're banking on like the idea that you probably had a fear of the dark or of a closet or something when you were a kid, and you remember what that was like, so you're going to kind of have a fear reaction just based on that. So I could definitely see how some people would think this is scary or at least ominous, but I didn't find anything that really hooked me in it. And overall, I just kind of felt like there was just a little bit too much talking in this. So without a hook or a cliffhanger, there wasn't anything that really made me want to continue reading the story further. And maybe it'll read better in trade, but I'm probably not going to pick up the rest of these issues. So I'm going to give this one a 2.5 out of 5. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. There was some cool creature design and like little horror moments once the monster shows up. But overall, most of the comic was just Tom drinking at a bar, being a shitty husband, and him and his wife fighting. But that was just my opinion. So if you saw anything you like, definitely go pick that up at your local comic book store, and we will see you all in the next one.